Hey guys, welcome to the talk. This is, in essence, the opposite of the podcast where we talk about things and facts. And
Cold,
things are,
hard, sexual facts.
yes. We even,
Damn it.
and we even swap places for this, swap the order of how,
And it's much more laid back. Like, I can put my feet up and stuff, so.
yeah. Well, me, I'm always professional. Anyway.
I have a longer tongue, by the way. It's not freaky. It's pretty long. It's pretty long, but it's not freaky.
In the talk, we talk about what we want to see from anything that we're a fan of. And it's basically multiple nerdgasms, one after another, after another, after another. By the time this is over, you shall probably have to go to and have a shower. You've had so many nerdgasms.
Alright.
So as per usual on the talk, Liam should start with what he wants to see from this series.
Yes. No.
Yes, we're not on the podcast.
What's it? For some reason, when we started on the talk, I thought of something I forgot to mention in the podcast, which was the chemistry experiment. You know those like shitty ass like clicker lighters?
This will be from the 11th podcast, by the way. So go back and watch that if you have not yet.
But you know this clicker, like, you know the way they always have the shitty lighters, like that you click?
Yeah.
You know they have that for thing.
Oh, our teacher didn't trust us. He came around with his own and did it.
Yeah. Well, during chemistry, you know, I was telling you about the experiment I had today. I was just going around, and I can do it. Like, I'm like the only person who can do it. And everybody else like just goes at it and goes at it and goes at it. And it's me and the new guy that can only do it. Because the new guy went like, and he like got it. And he's like, yeah. But I went going around saying, oh no, dude. And they were like, how come you, I started it on R Bunsen. And then they were like, oh, can we have the lighter? I gave it over. And then they were like, yeah, no, this doesn't work. I was like, really? And I just went like, and it like lit. The secret is you have to keep doing it
really fast.
Yeah. And then they were like, how did you do that? And I was like, it's my sex appeal. And then like for the whole class, I was like, give me back. Like I would just go around like, it's my sex appeal, like that and stuff. And like the new guy was like, I gotta train. He was like training him how to use my sex appeal. And he got it. It was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, you're starting off in your training in the sex appeal.
And on the topic of training yourself in the sex appeal, Liam will, I guess, is going to talk about what you want to see from Persona 5.
I will. Yes, I will.
We want to basically, if you don't know, Persona is
a Japanese RPG by Shin Megami Tensei. Sorry. Oh my god! All this week I've been fucking talking to my friend Ushin and me, and we're just like, I bet you that's some kind of weird hentai.
Probably.
Actually, now that I think about it, I noticed stuff was thrown at me in chemistry. I got a big branch thrown at me, and Ushin threw like a pink damp cloth at me, and I like grabbed it. I looked at it and went, and then it went, smells fishy.
Oh god.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's a JRPG. It's kind of like, it's just a fun game. I've probably talked about it before.
You shoot yourself and then monster comes out of your head.
That's only in Persona 3.
Really?
Yeah.
What happens in the other Personas?
Persona 4, you crush a card.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyway, so this is what I want.
Persona 2, what happens?
I haven't played Persona 2.
Okay.
Or Persona 1.
Okay.
But yeah. So recently a trailer came out for Persona 5, and there've been a few things about it circulating. So one of the things is a actual quote, which I'm gonna. I don't actually have the official quote, but the quote essentially says the type of freedom it will be exploring. Like it'll be exploring a different type of freedom. a different way to get, something like that. And in Persona 3 and Persona 4, the type of freedom you had was freedom through a group. So this is kind of the freedom I want from it. I want it to be a freedom kind of from family. I don't want you to have I or something like that. Something where there's not as much pressure on your character, or something like that. Or I don't know, just some kind of freedom that's like a fresh beginning. Like he's just moved to this city, and it's a fresh beginning for him. And I think that's really the one I want. I want him to be fresh in the city, and that is his new sense of freedom. There's no prejudged things about him, and of course he has a dark past that nobody knows of that will leak through in the plot.
Yeah.
Everybody else just knows, oh, he's just a new normal student.
Yeah.
So that's what I want, really. That's what I'm trying to poke at. And also the relationships and tones I have in mind is what I want to talk about. So I really like Persona 3 because you don't have a family, and it does mean that you have less relationship, like you don't really have a family relationship, but it kind of gives a sense that you're alone. You're alone. It's just you as that player, and you can kind of get out. It's more kind of fits for everybody.
Yeah.
In Persona 4, you have a family, but they move. They are constantly traveling. Like their job, has them constantly traveling. So you're staying with your uncle, and of course you spend time with your uncle and your like cousin. And while it's good and all, Persona 4, while having a pretty dark kind of some darker things in it, it's more lighthearted than Persona 3. And as you guys know, I prefer dark shit.
Yeah, we both do. That's why we love DC.
Yeah, and also why we love Death Note.
Oh.
Actually, I think I'm going to do top 10 my favorite animes.
You might as well. I've only seen one.
Number 1, episode 1 of Death Note. Number 2,
no,
episode 2.
Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh's animes, but I don't anymore.
They are anime.
They're anime style, but they're not anime.
They are anime.
No,
they're anime, but they were so popular that they were removed.
I don't call the original series and a bit I call anime, but after that I call it anime style. It's just not the same.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So what I want kind of relationships and tones wise, lovers are I want something a little different with that. I don't know how to explain it, but I really like the lovers arcana relationship you can have in Persona 3 because they make her such a likable character.
Yeah.
And in Persona 4, they make her kind of like everybody knows her and everybody thinks she's hot, but she's shy. You know that thing.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. I want that likableness, but I want it to that it's not like sometimes. I want it that it's like you really do feel very compatible with the person, because there are some times where the lover arcana in Persona 3 will say something, I'm like, that's a tiny bit too far.
Okay, yeah. I'd like to see her, I guess is a different tone to what you said. I like to see her completely different to the previous ones. I want to see her
yeah.
I don't want to see her
I want her to see her like Yukari, which is Persona 3. I want her to see her like Yukari in the likable sense.
Yeah.
But I want her to be fun as well.
I want to see her the opposite. I want to see how a lover's arcana would go if she wasn't that likable, but you were forced with her anyway, and you start over the game, you start to realize why she is.
Are you saying she's a bitch?
Not really. I mean, maybe she's just oh no, I don't have time for you. I keep on going, but you still have to fight with her and stuff like that. But gradually over the
also to get. With that being said, I kind of like a bit maybe a few fights with her as well, because that could flesh out more of her past as well. But moving on from that, because like really with these relationship stuff in Persona, you can talk forever, and we don't have forever to talk.
Yeah,
Uh,
but like I really want to see like an opposite force, and throughout this game, you start to like her
more
more and
involved,
more.
more involved with it.
Well, not really. Like just you start to like her more and more, and you start to see why she is.
Yeah.
Lovers are common.
Yeah. Another thing is, I want there to be a real dark thing. Like, I'm thinking maybe something that could really complicate your life is that your father's went to jail for murder or something,
Yeah.
and now he's all of a sudden he showed up and he's just this deadbeat asshole who's there. Like I watch a show with my parents called Ray Donovan. Me and my family were really into criminal shit.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I liked
it's
the main actors thing. They're always mentioning.
yeah, it's really good. But they did a thing where the father in Ray Donovan. That's what I want. If you have to have a father in this, that's what I want him to be like. I want to be him to be a really shitty asshole who's a user and just like, you know, and that you really really hate.
But slowly.
No, not even slowly liking him, but slowly it's getting to a point. Because that's the thing about Persona that I dislike. It's that it always gets to this point where at that point they're always likable. But I want it to be like at that point you fucking hate him and he's gone out of your life. Like you say it straight to his face as well. Because there's just so many times in movies you always see this shit that oh you always love your parents or whatever, and that's not the case. There are people out there who their parents have put them through shit and have ruined their lives. And I just feel like that would be just and that would be right. And I also wanted to do with a lot of tones at the minute with teenagers, like big ones, like ODing.
Yeah.
I want there to be a sad ass motherfucking moment where when you get to the rank 10, it's not with the person, it's with their brother or something telling you they or with the doctor or something like they OD'd, they passed away or whatever.
Yeah.
And I wanted to really hit you hard, like really hit you, because I feel like it just needs that push. I feel like if it's going to be dark, it just needs to push it because it needs to kind of open people's eyes. I also want it to be maybe a thing where maybe you can kind of get starting to get romantic-ish with a girl, and then turns out she's pregnant from her ex, and then dealing with that, and I don't know what the end to that could be, because I know a lot of people wouldn't feel comfortable, because if you're doing like a 100% like social link rank with everybody, I know a lot of people wouldn't be comfortable cheating on a pregnant person.
Yeah.
But a lot of people would be cheating on break or with any cheating anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to really hit hard and hit home.
But the dad thing. I think maybe he should be the person that ODs. But like,
well, then you're gonna feel sympathy though, and that's what I don't want.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, I wanted to go and do it in such a way that,
or maybe
like, he was starting to come round to like your way, and then all of a sudden he goes out. Like maybe he was an alcoholic and he just gave up drinking, and then one night his friends invited him out and he drank too much and he OD'd and something he dies. Yeah, and you just see how weak humans can be.
And I also think like a cigarette, like people smoking fags and drinking, I think that will be good for social links, because I feel like they really have to hit hard, hit home. You know.
I mean, the Persona games have been really good up until this point, but they kind of
they're good.
Avoided.
But they've really tried not to offend anybody, and I feel like also maybe a bit of racism in this one. I want there to be some racism that you have to deal with. That is still an issue at the minute, and it
I want some casual racism as well, like the sort of racism that like you joke about mate with your black best friend. You're just like, yeah, well, whatever you say, mate.
Also, by the way, There is a girl. There's two people in Persona, I think, that are black.
Hmm.
But I know there's a trend in Japan where they completely darken their skin except for their lips, and their lips are pretty like peachy.
Yeah.
So, is Yuko black or isn't she? Like, I don't understand if she is or not because I can't understand if she's wearing lipstick or if she's modeled after that trend.
Maybe after the trend.
But she's like her arms and her legs are it as well, and I don't know, guys. I don't know because I just don't want to get it wrong.
But anyway,
Yeah. So that's kind of some of the things I want from Persona 5. Ewan, what do you want?
I'm going to be
what are you
talking
doing?
about, I guess, the Ratchet and Clank movie.
Yeah, so
There hasn't been a lot on it, just a release date. Like, they haven't given any, well, they've given like a little bit of a preview, but not really a trailer.
they did a bit of a trailer, yeah.
It was a trailer? I
Yeah.
don't know. But
I don't know.
I kind of want to see it go back to the basics. I mean, the games have come so far and there's been so many storylines. I just want them to go, okay, this is all gone. Let's start from Ratchet and Clank 1. And
Yeah.
have it, like, quirky. Like, I know he's funny and stuff, but
He is the villain in the.
and he should be a serious villain. Like, he won't be the main one. I know as far as
No, he won't be a serious. He's not a serious villain. He was never a serious villain,
yeah.
but he was a greedy villain. So he should be full on greedy.
Mm. But I wanted to retain though, like the almost Futurama-esque style it had with treating people in space and shit. You know, like how Futurama's like the suicide.
I love
stuff
it when he's
that.
like when this old man is threatening Drax, and he's like, he says something to him. He's like, leave our planet alone or whatever. And Drax's like, okay, I will. And he's like, really? Nope. And he like throws him out.
Yeah, it's like I want the comedy and like the sort of aspect. Like it's space. There's so much of us we don't give two shits if you die or not. Have a good day. You know what I mean? And selling weapons for ridiculously low prices.
No, high prices.
No, there's either two ways. There's ridiculously low.
No,
or
but
high.
in the first game, it was ridiculously high.
So ridiculously high prices and like, I just want to see a Ratchet and Clank movie turned into a game turned into a movie and it just going well.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of like games that have been turned into movies, and you're just like, that didn't go too well, did it? After you come out of the cinema.
I don't really think they should be turned into movies, but I'm still going to go see it. So.
Yeah, I'm a Ratchet and Clank fan, so
exactly.
You kind of like it's one of those things that you just have to sit down and think, you know what, we're a Ratchet and Clank fan, we're gonna have to sit through this sadly. And if it's good, it'll be good for us. Like we'll see a new aspect of Ratchet and Clank, big screen, not having to sit there for God knows how long trying to save up for the best armor in the game.
Yeah.
Typical Ratchet and Clank problems. Hashtag
Actually, in the first Ratchet and Clank game, there's no armor.
Really?
Yeah, there's
or
no
weapons then.
Yeah.
You see how long it's been since I've looked at the first game, never mind played it. Yeah, basically I want a Ratchet and Clank game turned into a movie and with all the aspects. I want there to be like this one, you know, like how in was it Tools of Destruction?
Actually, I want.
Oh no, All for One. There's the news casters, and then in Gladiator there was the like commentators.
You want commentators in?
I want something like that, voicing over
at the beginning.
a bit.
At the beginning.
Yeah,
or
and then
during
towards the end.
Part.
Or yeah, you know.
Actually, no, there is no Gladiator. I don't think there is. Yeah, no, there's not.
You know what I mean? Just a bit like that, where you can just sit back and let the narrator speak.
I hope they really do keep it to the first game. Because the first game has a great story and really advanced for the time. I feel like the story is really advanced for the time because that was like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
They were dealing with eco, and they were talking about like eco system stuff that was bad.
Yeah.
And that was really like that wasn't a thing back then. Then get into what like 2006, later 2000, like 2000.
Oh yeah.
That's when all the eco stuff comes out. So it was really early for its time.
It's just Ratchet and Clank's always been one of those games, you know.
Yeah.
You
Really is
expect
revolutionary.
something and it delivers more than you expect. You know, like, because when I heard after like the first trilogy in Gladiator, there's new ones coming out on the PS3. I was like, I'm not sure. I was kind of hoping that they wouldn't kill the series, and they didn't. They're brilliant. Like,
Even though for one, which is probably the worst Ratchet and Clank game,
it was
it's
still
so much fun.
yeah,
And it was meant to be a party game, and it works as a party game.
yeah. So you know what?
Call!
On that note, on that passionate note,
I guess we will see you guys.
next time.
Berber.
Berber.
Hold on. I guess we will see you guys next time. Berber.